Alrighty. What's up, everybody? Minasan, konnichiwa. Daniel des. Instinctual, back in the building once again, and I'm here with another album thoughts video. And you may have watched my Scandal Honey video or my World Domination Bandmade video, but this was a little different. This one is now the work of Utada Hikaru, the album Hatsukoi, her seventh album that she's released. So if you watched my other two videos, thank you so much for watching those. I really appreciate it. And here's another one, another video of me talking about Japanese music. So once again, another love of mine, and it has become a permanent part of the channel. Before they were asides, now they're instinctual insights, I suppose. So look forward to more of these in the future. Right on. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into this a bit. If you aren't familiar with Utada Hikaru, she's a popular Japanese pop/rock singer that's been around for a very long time. But I didn't actually come to know of her until the last couple of years, where I was dealing with the loss of Chester Bennington, the lead singer of Linkin Park, who tragically took his own life. And so I was devastated by those facts, and I had to find a way to sort of cope with it, a way to clear my mind, a way to ease my mind from this terrible loss. And so listening to Utada Hikaru songs really helped me get through it. I found out about her through Facebook. Actually, a friend of mine had her as, I think, his profile picture or something, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna check her out. I need something. And so she turned out to be quite the revelation, because here we are today with this video. So pretty cool stuff. But as far as some of her background, she started in Japan with her musical career at the age of 15. So she has sold over 52 million albums worldwide since her debut. And her first album, First Love, to this day is still the best-selling Japanese album of all time. So those are just the background little details about her. As far as this album goes, her seventh album, Hatsukoi, released back on June 27th of 2018. Let's start with the first song, and that's Play a Love Song. And it starts out with simple chords coming from a synthesizer. It's Hickey's. We'll call her Hickey. That's how she's commonly referred to as. Hickey's voice floats above it. It's almost as if a door is opening up and light just flowing through. Like it's just this grand sort of entranceway with her voice. And it's a really hopeful song in terms of mood and lyrical content. It's very well balanced in terms of the instruments and vocals being highlighted. It really feels like a song you may hear in dance clubs, actually, maybe with that beat that goes through it. But lyrics are great too. One of the lyrics that she says here: "Hold me tight and don't let go. Why we fight, I don't know." So she's tired of the distractions in life that hold us back, and she's looking for something simple, like just playing a love song. Let's forget about it all. Live in this moment. Live in this precious moment. And just hold on to that. So it's a very uplifting sort of theme there, and you kind of see that in different parts of the album throughout its listening. But it's a great opener to this album. It sets the tone beautifully, and with the choir singing in the background at the end, it just gives you so much joy. Every time I listen to this album, I've probably listened to it, at this point, I don't know, 20 times or so, maybe more. Every time I listen to that first song, Play a Love Song, makes you want to listen to the whole thing, because it is such an uplifting song with the choir, and it's quite nice. It's quite nice as an opener, and it does really give you the urge to listen to more of it. So job well done. Play a Love Song, awesome, one of my favorites. Second song, Anata. So this is the first song that really caught my attention from this album, because I noticed it actually sort of at the beginning. I think it was around February of 2018 that it was released, somewhere around there. I had come to know of it and see the video and really enjoy that song, listen to it constantly. One of those kind of tracks. And I love the beginning of the song because her voice emotes so powerfully that you don't need to understand the words to know that she is transmitting directly from within herself. Her voice is so tender and soulful. Hickey's voice is the centerpiece of this joyous, flavorful track, aided by some really sweet-sounding stringed and brass instruments in the not-too-distant background, which is kind of nice. Opening lyrics of the song, "In a world without you, no wish would come true." So even if a valley of blazing hellfire awaits us, I want to protect you. And later, she says, the world I walk together with you is breathtakingly beautiful. In the desolate wastelands, you squeeze back my hand. And those are just deeply insightful lyrics. And it paints a very stark landscape lyrically, which contrasts well with the upbeat tone of the song. So it's definitely some poetry there that she's writing within the song. I mean, it's just beautiful stuff. The closing lyrics of the song: "Let's submit to our endless pain and continue the journey, darling. I have no place to go home to other than you, not in heaven or on earth." And so yeah, she's painting this very wide open picture of how she's feeling inside, just letting it all out, and in very fine, specific detail, showing what it's like to have these wants and needs as a person, for this other. No matter what life is throwing at you, you still have that person to look forward to, coming home to. So it's a great song, and I love the song's energy and the free-flowing nature with its jazzy brass elements. It's just an uproarious sort of track in that way. It's very cathartic, and I love it. Music video, like I mentioned before, I'd seen that, and that really caught my attention. And it starts with instruments warming up in different and shots of the different parts of the recording space being spliced together until a big moment of silence where you see this wonderful silhouetted profile of Hiki standing stoically next to a microphone. Colors muted. She's ready to let it all go. And it's a great shot. It really is, to start off this type of music video. And you see the different instruments, people playing the music in the background. She just danced along with the microphone right here. She's emoting just so profoundly in a very large way. She's having a great time. And at the end, it ends with Hiki in sort of the same spot, just inches away from the microphone. This time the colors are warm instead of muted, and she's filled with this immense amount of joyous energy now that she's let it all go, let it all loose, so to speak, letting her loved one know how much she cares. So it's just a release, a let go, and it feels great. It's a great wave of energy that hits you when you hear this song. So Anata's wonderful as well. Number 3, we take it down a little bit. This is the title track of the album. This is called Hatsukoi, which translates to first love. So that is like I mentioned before, the name of her very first album, First Love, in English. This one is Hatsukoi, so the Japanese version of it, of the title. So this is the title track, and it flips the mood of the starting vocals and piano. This time it's the piano that strikes some uplifting chords, and Hiki's voice cries out more in desperation, "I need you, I need you, I need you." You hear that constantly throughout the song. It builds up powerfully and beautifully as the string section comes in, creating a fluctuating wave of impact. It's very chill acoustic guitar going on in the right ear as well, and it brings a bit of a light peacefulness, which is nice too. But Hiki's voice is on full display, so powerful and so in control. Works so beautifully in tandem with the string section as well, as her own vocal harmonies in the background are helping out too. As the strings soar higher and higher, her voice soars with them, in this sort of duality of the sound meeting each other up high in the peaks of the sound range there. So it's just lovely. The way it ends is very powerful, extremely powerful. It's got this halting end with, I imagine, a conductor's fist sort of ending it with, when she's like, "I need you," and then bam, there it is. Everything halts, the strings halt in this big, this profound moment. And it's beautiful. It's lovely. Very emotional sort of, finality to this song, and I love that. It's just incredible. So the lyrics of the song, once again, very poetic. My heart pounding deafeningly in my chest, and feet starting to run on their own, and my tears certainly going down my cheeks. They tell me that this is my first love. And that's, those are, once again, lovely sentiments. It's just very universal sort of, wanting of another, this love in your life, and the feelings that it gives you, it brings you, and, wanting to share that with the world. And so this is pretty much what's going on here with the way the song is produced and the way the lyrics are written. It's just a beautiful combination. The music video as well goes along with all this. It's quite stunning, sweeping visuals as the video cuts back and forth between Hiki, a young girl, and an old woman. So that, I think that kind of represents the past, present, and future Hiki. So she's her as a young girl, her as the present Hiki, and then maybe her as an older woman later in her life. So there's vivid detail in the close-up shots, akin to our memories, kind of how we think of things when we look back on certain moments. You see the finer details of, how a leaf looked or how the water, sprinkled down from the rocks, and all these little details that that just kind of stick with you, in the corners, the back of your mind. And so this video is very much showing that throughout its run. The fast cuts at the end are perfectly placed with the cacophony of sound at the end of the song, like I mentioned before. As the song speeds up at the very end, with everything kind of going bonkers, you see the cuts of the video going fast too, and it's just a great match of the song. And so you can tell they spent a lot of time trying to make the videos just as breathtaking as the songs are, because this one certainly matches that quite well. So check out that video. Number 4, this one is Chikai, which translates to oath, but there's also an English version called Don't Think Twice, which is sung in English. And this is the ending theme to Kingdom Hearts 3. And the song starts off with more beautiful piano and strings. Hiki's voice matches them in tone. Nice percussion to give added depth. The real heartbeat of this song. The words of the song are presented as the centerpiece of the song, as it sounds like she's saying a lot of different things throughout the track, and is really lingering a lot on a lot of those words as well, as if telling a story. For instance, there's this one part where she says this sentence or phrase really quickly. She's like, Sona no dareka wo yorokobasu tamemono, but even faster than that. And so that means that'd be something I'd said to make someone happy. And so sono, the very first word, is the Japanese way of referring to something like that in a negative context. And so she's highlighting this to sort of show that she has negative feelings of trying to make promises for somebody else, some other person that someone else would be happy from. So she's trying to emphasize that in sort of a way that is a little unique, which is cool. So it's like a large poem that she's singing. There's so much detail in her words. And some more of the lyrics, which are, in my tears, which sometimes I become unable to hold back, there's no deep meaning. They're nothing special. But suddenly I remember the past and the light streaming in from the open door. From here on out, I want to be by your side. And so this is that poetry, the artistic style of lyrical writing, which is masterful at capturing the pure essence of the emotions he's trying to convey to the listener. And it's doing a great job of that, that's for sure. So she's remembering the dark times and how they made her feel, with the light cutting through the darkness and finding the strength within, from these lyrics. That's what I'm kind of getting from it. It's very intimate, very personal, very courageous to let yourself out there like that. And that's a beautiful thing. But yet you don't even need to understand what she's saying in the lyrics, just to hear her voice and the intricacies of it, as well as the music around her. It makes for a beautiful experience. Not just for someone who understands Japanese, but for anyone who has any language. To really hear that and feel it, to feel her voice, which I think is one of her most powerful strengths. Absolutely. So far, Hatsukoi has been front-loaded with 4 tracks that were released as singles that do an incredibly good job of grabbing the listener's attention. I think that's pretty clear. From the uplifting choir and danceable beats in Play a Love Song, to the jazzy rock and rush of instruments in Anata, to the soaring ride from the tender to the transcendent in Hatsukoi, the title track, to the supercharged stoicism and surrender of herself entirely in Chikai. All these are big tracks, full of depths, and have so much to absorb lyrically and tonally, which is awesome. And this next track is really no different, as it's another single that was one of the first songs released off of Hatsukoi, and it's another sweeping orchestral track that shows off the real power of Hiki's voice. And this is Forevermore. And it starts off with very tense string work. Hiki sings in a matter-of-fact way before her voice rises. Silky smooth vocals, they work so well, transitioning flawlessly between the high and low ranges. Warmth in her voice that's so intoxicating as she digs down deep into some real soulful sounding moments. She must love jazz because it's another jazzy sort of song with the percussion in the background just tap tap tapping away. So that's seems to be a recurring theme, sort of jazzy elements throughout this album. So the lyrics go like, oh, oh, others come and go, but you're in my soul forevermore. Ashiteru. So, yeah, it's after the lyrical artistry of Chikai, Forevermore kind of brings the lyrics back down to earth a little bit, focusing more but being more concise, and still greatly emphasizing her devotion to another. So it's not a giant list of poetry. It's more, I think, more just your classic way of producing lyrics for a song. So she's kind of coming back to that a bit in this song, I think. The song ends with those beautiful strings deeply resonating, similar to Hiki's devotion to her love and her determination to make sure they know how much they mean to her. And that's it's a great ending to this song. Once again, these very dramatic sort of ends with the strings and very orchestral. They're beautiful. They're very beautiful tracks. And there's music videos as well for this, which seems to be a bit of an interpretive dance style of video, where Hiki is just in this warehouse or sort of movie set environment, and she's dancing around. She's doing interpretive dance to kind of express her feelings of the song. Hiki's looking in great shape, so she shows it in her body. Her dance routine is flawless. Like she get actually a pretty really pretty good dancer. We know her as this great singer, but she's also got these dance moves that she can do as well when she needs to show it. Flex it off, or just flex it a little bit, show it off. And she does a great job throughout the video. Kind of reminds me of Major Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell, because the dances seem to be a bit mechanical, as if she's a cyborg, which would mean she has both organic and mechanical parts. So, kind of reminded me of Ghost in the Shell, Major Kusanagi. Kind of a similar haircut too. So it kind of gave off that vibe a little bit. The dancing seems to be, once again, a physical manifestation of her own inner turbulence, which relates to the lyrics on a more conceptual level. She's dancing around. She gets on top of this giant cylinder, and she's dancing more with the spotlight just shining down on her. And ending is a bit odd. She finds this little lizard, and she's sitting on the edge of the cylinder, just kind of gazing at it. I thought it might have been a social commentary on how nature is being overwhelmed by the sterile advancements of technology. Certainly could be. But I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, it could be something else that I may have missed. I'm not really sure on that one. But it was unique. It was interesting, at least. And there is a nice documentary clip that I can list below that actually shows the making of this video, which was quite interesting as well. So you can check that out. It's got a little more insight to how they made the video, which was cool. But yeah. Number 6. We'll move on a bit to Too Proud featuring Jevin. And right away, this song is different with strange electronic sounds to begin the track, as well as beautiful harmonies surrounding her talking to herself lyrics, which have a distinct quality that is reminiscent of the meanderings of the mind. So the lyrics are like, I don't know, what do you think? I guess I'm not saying what I really think. What if I did? I don't want to be rejected. Well, I guess I reject you all the time, so what am I saying? What if I pretend one of us will die tomorrow, or that we're strangers? Would that change things? The last two questions really set up some interesting possible scenarios. Maybe a long-term relationship hitting a rocky path. Maybe these two have just met. It's really interesting. It's a really interesting way to start off this song and put some food for thought into the listener's head, which is kind of cool. Beautiful harp sounds that fill the soundstage and give the track a real ethereal quality, sort of an extreme delicacy right there. Kind of reminds me more of her electronic beginnings in songs like Automatic or Can You Keep a Secret. Kind of has similar tones to those. The wet bass is nice too. And it really fills up the low end quite nicely throughout the track and gives it sort of a hip-hop feel even before Jevin starts throwing in his sick rhymes. And speaking of those sick rhymes, those go like this. So here's a little snippet. So no, I don't trust your honesty. Love is cursed by monogamy. Don't keep swiping right. You might see something you won't want to see. I hope you see how hard it is without me, because we're going to have to learn to set new boundaries. I fell into your tears and let it drown me, because I'm too proud to be too proud to say it proudly. Yeah, so those are some pretty sick rhymes that I just read there, and maybe they're coming from the point of view of another person with the same difficulties as Hickey, or they could be the point of view of the one that she is in desire of, and they're telling their side of the story. So it's a very interesting inclusion to the song, which is the only song that has any sort of hip hop elements to it. So it kind of makes you wonder, what the thought process was behind putting it in there, because it's so different from the rest of the album. So I would love to know that. This song was really cool, and I really enjoyed the more laid-back track. The chill vibe of it with the more electronic-infused heart vibrations all over it. So that was awesome. I really enjoyed hearing that. Number 7, Good Night. And this was used as a theme song for the anime film Penguin Highway. And the first 20 seconds are so lovely, with the piano and guitar playing off of each other, with Hickey's voice coming in with that bass drum, and then to hear it build with the rest of the percussion, it's just downright magical. It's lovely. It's a lovely, lovely way to start a song. It's beautiful stuff. And I really enjoy her elongated vowel sounds on the goodbyes that she says when she's going up and down sort of her range. And it made me realize she sounds actually a lot like Mariah Carey. With her pure tone, with the range, control, her emotion, it all kind of very, I think, similar in a lot of ways to Mariah Carey. And it's something that I was trying to figure out where I had heard some of this before, and I think it might have been just growing up in the United States in the 90s. You hear all those songs that Mariah Carey had done, and so it reminded me of that. And one thing they do share is, I mentioned the vowel sound, so the melismatic singing, which is the singing of a single syllable of text while moving between several different notes in succession. So it makes for quite the effect. A lot of singers use that. Christina Aguilera, Beyonce, they just go up and down the range or the octaves, and it sounds great. Sounds great. And both Mariah and Utada Hikaru do this quite well. So let's see, there's stark and emotional lyrics. So the lyrics of this song go like, the dust flutters about cheerfully. I opened the album for the first time in a while. Hello, I'm not a memory. I hate goodbyes. Let me tell you about myself recently. Let me tell you about myself recently. So it seems as though Hickey is, opening up a picture album for the first time in a while and saying goodbye over and over again to these different photos in the album. So she's reliving these moments and having to say goodbye many, many times, which can be obviously very difficult. But definitely one of my favorite songs on the album. It's very cathartic, shows off Hickey's vocal range very well, and shows off the full range of instruments to make this song large and powerful. So I think this song, Good Night, and Play a Love Song, those two are probably my favorites off the album. Hard to choose between the two, so I'll probably just do those two that I like the most. But number 8 is an interesting track because it is about coriander. So it's called Pakuchii No Uta, the coriander song, and but specifically it's about a cappuccino flavored with coriander, or as we know it in the States, is cilantro. And so it was available, I'm not sure if it still is, at Hatsukoi themed cafes in Japan when the album was released. And there's even a YouTube video that shows how to prepare this coriander-flavored cappuccino drink, which kind of odd at the beginning because Hickey's wearing like sunglasses and a face mask as she's explaining stuff at the start. It's a little foreboding, I suppose, but, maybe it's just a Japanese thing. I don't know. Yeah. But, if you want to make some coriander cappuccino, check out the video. I'll link it below. But most of the song has Hickey just singing Pakuchii pak pak, Pakuchii pak pak, which translates roughly to coriander, chomp chomp, coriander, chomp chomp. So that kind of speaks to the innocence of the song. And at first I thought the song was maybe like a children's song because of the over-the-top way that Hickey delivers the lyrics at the beginning, where she's like, coriander, coriander. And it just was really over the top, and I really wasn't sure why she was doing that. I was like, okay, that's just maybe another Japanese thing. I don't know. I'll have to look into it later. And, just kind of, talking about coriander. Who doesn't like a little cilantro in their life, right? I don't know. But, yeah. It's got a great saxophone solo at the end, and it's just a nice little track that breaks up sort of the more dramatic elements of the other songs, which is nice. So I guess it does serve a purpose in that way, too. So that's cool. Number 9, Nokoriga. And this translates to Remaining Scent in English. And the song has Hiki pining for her love and looking for their lingering scent in warm shoulders. And it's very straightforward and raw instrumentally compared to the other tracks on the album. You know, there's some piano organ, some drum loops. It's kind of about it. It's got this spiritual quality, similar to the choir from Play a Love Song. Definitely has elements of that. Some cool electronic sounds towards the end as well. It's way laid back, very intimate with Hiki's beautiful tenderness. Sets the scene of absence of another person, so that you want to be there, and it's just not there. And you know, she says, "I miss you" many times throughout the song, and you know, the song also seems to be missing some elements of, you know, percussion and things. It's very raw track, not a lot going on there, not many layers. So maybe that is sort of an abstract relation where there's not much going on in the song. Instrumentally, and you know, there's an absence of someone in Hiki's life, so there could be a relation to that. Number 10, which is Oozora de Dakishimete, which translates to Embrace Me Under the Big Sky, and it's the first single off of Hatsukoi released all the way back in July of 2017, and it was used as a tie-in for the Japanese brewing company Suntory's bottled water campaign. The song starts off with an upbeat percussive tone, bouncing along with the beat of a xylophone or marimba, something like that. Sounds really cool. The song keeps building with Hiki's understated vocals, followed by this thumping bass drum to give the song a brilliant head-bobbing rhythm that continues throughout. It's really nicely layered with that instrument. And the bridge is cool with some delicate guitar work and really fine sound engineering work, with Hiki's voice being scattered across the sound spectrum. As her voice digitizes off into the oblivion, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so it definitely could have fit well with her previous album, Phantom, with its sort of more electronic and beat-driven sort of sound, which was, I think Phantom had more of that than Hatsukoi does. And so that song was released, you know, the soonest after Phantom was done with, so I guess that makes a lot of sense. The lyrics seem similar to Goodnight, where she laments that she cannot have that physical connection with someone, but rather can only embrace the spirit of this person in the heavens. And so the lyrics go like, "If we could fly in the clouds, then just embrace me in the heavens. I wonder if you're still angry, but can't help be stubborn. If I can see you someday, then just kiss me without saying it's our last." So yeah, once again, very insightful lyrics, just missing that physical connection with someone, and more opening herself up, you know, really surrendering herself to that other person, wherever they may be. So there is a 1-minute ad that was filmed for this song, and it actually is very beautiful and complements the song quite strikingly with the picturesque landscapes of nature. You got mountains, you got soaring birds, and majestic waterways flowing throughout. Just all breathtaking. It's really, really quite nice. And Hiki does a great job of drinking from the water bottle at just the right points to make sure you're seeing, hey, look, I'm drinking Suntory water when they show me in those close-up shots, or even from far away. She's always got the water drinking it, just to make sure product placement perfectly timed. So well done, Hiki. Your product placement is on point. That's for damn sure. So very nice. Number 11. This song is called Yuunagi, and that translates to Evening Calm in English. And the making of this song is heavily featured in the Hatsukoi documentary, which I saw, that I'll link below. You can see that, which was awesome. There's some really great behind-the-scenes stuff with her process of putting the album together, so I loved it. Watched it a couple times. Beautiful stuff. The original title was Ghost, and this was worked on 3 years before production on Hatsukoi even began. It took so much time to get the melody and the lyrics done for this song that it almost didn't even make the cut. She was barely finished in time to put this on the record, so luckily they were able to get things together at the very last minute, which you'll see in the documentary that they were just discussing things at the very end just to make sure they were able to finish that. So yeah, there is a 1-2-3, 1-2-3 at the beginning, which kind of might relate to those issues of having to, just work on it for so many years and having to practice it over and over again in the studio. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, having to go over it over and over and over again until she finally got it right. So that might be an homage to that at the very beginning. But the song really starts off with a haunting piano melody, accentuated by these thumping drums, and Hiki with her very intimate, almost whisper quiet vocals, hearing little breaths in it too. So it's just this sort of rising vocal intonation that's coming up, and the song lulls you into this almost hypnotic state, a pristine calm, progressing into an almost religious chant with the seiyas she throws in during the bridge, that are the centerpiece of this song, an almost exorcising of demons. Like a smoke clearing from a cluttered room, slowly exposing the light from outside. Like it's just this very, cathartic moment, where it's almost healing. It feels like she's healing in the moment when she's saying this. And she mentions it was hard to come up with lyrics for this song, for the longest time. I know, this song sort of was once again fostered around the time that Hiki lost her mother, and it was kind of hard to find words to really put into something like that. But the words she did come up with, I thought, were very effective. And the lyrics are, the little boat leaves wounds on the mirror-like surface of the sea. Everything without exception always comes to an end. Someday, and that will never change. So in this evening calm, the waves are rippling back and forth, producing an effect. And then clearly erasing it all in a matter of moments, again and again. So it shows sort of maybe the futility of life, where you do all this stuff and it just gets erased. You die, and more people come, they do things, that gets erased, back and forth, sort of the circle of life kind of thing. That's kind of what I was reading from that. The song began once again around that time, like I said, with her mother passing away. So I think something to note is once again the title change from Ghost to Yuunagi. So it may have something to do with the fact that she was no longer haunted by her mother's death, but rather now she was enlightened by it. She found a calm sort of feeling after years had passed, and she had sort of been able to really process what had happened. So I'm sure for her it was a great relief to finish this song and to get it out to the public. So that's incredible. Number 12, the last official track on this album, Shittosarerubeki Jinsei, which roughly translates to a life to be envied. And on my very first listen to this album, I loved this song. And when I got to this final track, I think I liked it the most because it had the most visceral energy and the most movement out of any of the songs. The strings seemed to be moving more forward as well. And after all the back and forth emotional heartstring pulling, as well as the melancholy and the burdensome regret that we've heard throughout the entire album, now it finally feels like we're going somewhere, like we're moving forward. And that is a great relief at the end of this album. Hiki's voice is sounding more calm and focused than ever. Once again, they're making great use of Hiki's voice in the background to texture the sound so beautifully, which has got to be an engineer's dream, to work with someone like Utada Hikaru and her versatile voice. Got to be amazing. The bridge portion of this song is pretty interesting as well, with all the heart monitor sounds and isolating bits of piano. The bass parts add just a ton to this song, and I'm a person who really likes bass, those little bass beats in songs that you wouldn't expect them from like in indie rock bands or something more maybe classical sounding, with a lot of these orchestral tracks, and just throw that bass in there to have it thumping, man, it feels awesome. It feels really good. It's just so pleasant and satisfying to hear it. And the lyrics of the song, which are very good. Whether today is the last day of my life, or whether it's 50 years from now, because I met you, I can say that I was happier than anyone, that I had a life to be envied. And they're very powerful. Those are very powerful lyrics, and ones that really tied things together nicely. With this conclusion that really, despite all the harshness and distraction that life can bring, there are really things that you can hold on to and to grasp with all your heart and to really flourish with, in the face of everything else that might stand in your way. So, it's basically a call to soldier on, to experience life for all its sorrows, but also all its loves. Your first love, your last love, and every love in between. So it's quite the set of songs in this artistic gift to the world that Hiki has created. So yeah, that's the album, and it was just a real treat to be able to sit down and listen to this song, and go back and watch all the music videos she's done, and just really soak in the Utada Hikaru-ness, just really bask in it for a while, and really appreciating this album in a way that maybe others wouldn't. And so it's part of the reason I make these videos, so I can sort of share that joyous feeling to the rest of the world. So there you go. So yeah, time for a bonus track. You've made it all the way to the end of the video, so let's reward you with this particular bonus. And the bonus is Face My Fears. So the song Face My Fears, which is a collaboration of Utada Hikaru, Skrillex, and Pooh Bear. And this is the opening theme to Kingdom Hearts 3. And the song was originally not going to be recorded, as Hiki had suggested Skrillex produce a remix of Chikai instead. But he then countered it by saying, well, maybe we should do a different song entirely. We'll have myself produce it, Skrillex, and then have Pooh Bear write it, and you can sing it, Hiki, and we'll do that. And she was like, all right, let's go. Let's do this thing. And so they did. They made this song, Face My Fears. And it starts off beautifully with a stoic piano melody that really melts your heart right away. The lyrics, breath, should I take a deep? Faith, should I take a leap? Taste, what a bittersweet. These lyrics coming out have the same sort of last words first scheme to them, which is very interesting. I like kind of how the way they provokes your thought a bit. By saying sentences in ways you've probably never heard them said before. It's got a really great build of energy and tension with the dubstep style beat patterns and the echoing effect that is put on Hiki's voice when she says, let me face my fears. And it just sends chills deep down within me, when I hear that echo. It's just a lovely reproduction of her voice, and it's a great filter on that, and it sounds beautiful. And when the dubstep beats come in, matching the piano melody, it just sounds so vibrant, so full of life. It's just wonderful what kind of dynamic sounds that technology has allowed us to be privy to, to listen to and to enjoy. It's amazing. And then we have more of the same sort of lyrical pattern going forward with the last word first combinations, and then take one more ride into the dubstep stratosphere. But this time we hear some different sounds coming from Hiki, sort of like the Seiya that we heard in Yuunagi. She's got like onaya wonaya onaya wonaya wonaya, which I don't know what that means. Once again, not really sure if that's actual Japanese or not. Maybe they're just sounds that she thinks sound cool, which is great either way. But it works. I think it works here. And and then the piano comes back in as Hiki makes the final words at the end with some unique percussion to give the ending a sort of magical, otherworldly quality. And it's an awesome track. It really makes me smile when I hear it. Because, once again, it wasn't even supposed to happen. She wanted a different song, and then, all of a sudden these other artists came together with her, and they created something really magical and beautiful for the Kingdom Hearts 3 video game series, which she's made a couple of other different songs for the rest of the games that they've made in that series. So it all came together so well, and it's just a beautiful way to face your fears, I suppose, to do something unexpected, to make a song that really resonates, and this one certainly does. So there you go. That is Hatsukoi from Utada Hikaru, and it's a really, really good album. It's very top heavy with the singles, has some more kind of experimental, more electronic sounding stuff maybe at the end, so it's kind of the two halves of the album. But I think they work. They definitely work, and they keep your attention throughout the entire time you're listening to it. So if you haven't heard it yet, check it out. Check it out, because it's really good stuff. Hatsukoi. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I think the next one's probably going to be the latest Perfume album, Future Pop. I think that one's going to be next. I really would like to talk about that next. So we'll see when that one comes out. But in the meantime, I will make more videos. Once again, Thank You Chester stuff, so that'll be coming soon in the next set of Thank You Chester videos, as well as my newest addition to the series for your mental health, where I talk about different mental health issues as well. So hopefully you stick around on this channel, subscribe, and watch as I fill out the years with all these great musical reviews and mental health videos that help people through depression, anxiety, and Thank You Chester. So stay tuned, more to come. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and as always, follow your instincts, and peace out. Kitsune! Cha!